Every day, millions of people repeat the same habits without realizing those habits quietly shape how they think, decide, and grow. Intelligence is not just about IQ scores, degrees, or how smart someone sounded in school. It shows up in daily behavior, in patterns, in the small choices made when no one is watching. And surprisingly, many habits that seem normal, harmless, or even common are actually signs of underdeveloped thinking skills. This video is not about insulting anyone. It's about awareness. Because once a habit is recognized, it can be changed. And when habits change, intelligence grows. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll not only recognize these habits, you'll also understand how to replace them with smarter alternatives that improve your thinking, communication, and decision-making. Let's begin. One of the most common habits linked to low intelligence is refusing to listen. Not just hearing words, but genuinely listening. This shows up when someone interrupts others constantly, finishes people's sentences, or dismisses opinions before understanding them. Intelligent thinking requires patience. Listening allows new information to enter the mind. When someone believes they already know everything, they shut the door to learning. Over time, this habit traps them in the same limited perspectives, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why nothing ever changes. Another everyday habit is reacting emotionally to everything. Anger, defensiveness, sarcasm, and outrage become automatic responses instead of thoughtful reactions. This doesn't mean emotions are bad. It means allowing emotions to control decisions weakens reasoning. Intelligent people pause. They separate feelings from facts. When someone explodes at criticism, argues instead of reflecting, or turns every disagreement into a personal attack, it signals poor emotional regulation, which directly impacts cognitive strength. A very telling habit is blaming others for everything. When life goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. The boss is unfair. The system is rigged. Friends are jealous. While external factors exist, intelligent thinking involves self-examination. Growth begins with asking, what could I have done differently? People who never take responsibility stay stuck because they never identify their own role in outcomes. Another subtle but damaging habit is refusing to read or learn anything new. Many people stop learning after school and proudly say things like, I hate reading, or, I already know enough. The mind, like a muscle, weakens when it isn't used. Reading expands vocabulary, strengthens focus, and exposes the brain to complex ideas. Avoiding learning limits mental flexibility and problem-solving ability. Constantly oversharing personal problems is another habit often misunderstood. This doesn't mean being open is bad. It means having no boundaries. Intelligent people understand timing, audience, and context. Sharing deeply personal issues with strangers, co-workers, or people who haven't earned trust often leads to regret. It shows poor judgment and lack of social awareness. Another habit that signals weak thinking is following trends blindly. Whether it's opinions, lifestyles, or online challenges, some people adopt whatever is popular. Intelligent minds ask why. They analyze consequences. Blind imitation removes independent thought and replaces it with herd behavior. Arguing loudly instead of logically is another major sign. Raising one's voice, insulting others, or repeating the same point aggressively doesn't strengthen an argument. It weakens it. Intelligence communicates clearly and calmly. When someone relies on volume instead of reasoning, it often means they lack solid understanding. A surprisingly common habit is avoiding silence. Constant noise, endless scrolling, non-stop entertainment. Silence is where reflection happens. It's where thoughts organize and insight develops. People who cannot sit alone with their thoughts often avoid self-awareness. Intelligent thinking requires moments of quiet analysis. Another habit is making decisions without thinking ahead. Spending impulsively, speaking without considering consequences, or acting on short-term pleasure while ignoring long-term impact shows poor foresight. Intelligence includes planning, delayed gratification, and strategic thinking. Refusing to admit being wrong is one of the strongest signs of low intelligence. Everyone makes mistakes. Smart people learn from them. When someone defends errors at all costs, even when evidence is clear, pride replaces growth. Admitting mistakes strengthens credibility and learning. Mocking intelligence instead of developing it is another habit worth noting. Making fun of educated people, calling learning boring, or ridiculing curiosity is often a defense mechanism. It protects ego but blocks growth. True intelligence respects learning in all forms. Another everyday habit is poor time management. Always late, missing deadlines, procrastinating endlessly. Time reflects priorities and planning skills. Intelligent people value time because they understand opportunity cost. Disorganized time often signals disorganized thinking. Gossiping excessively is another sign. Talking about others constantly, spreading rumors, or focusing on drama instead of ideas drains mental energy. Intelligent conversation builds knowledge, explores solutions, and exchanges insight. Gossip replaces depth with distraction. Refusing feedback is another limiting habit. Feedback is information. Even when poorly delivered, it can contain truth. Intelligent people extract value from feedback without taking everything personally. Dismissing all feedback prevents improvement. Another habit is overconfidence without competence. Speaking confidently on topics without understanding them, pretending expertise, or refusing to say, "I don't know," leads to shallow thinking. True intelligence is comfortable with uncertainty and eager to learn. Constant complaining without action is another sign. Complaints identify problems, but intelligence seeks solutions. When someone complains endlessly yet never changes behavior, they stay trapped in dissatisfaction. Neglecting health habits also impacts intelligence. Poor sleep, lack of movement, constant junk food consumption affect brain function. The mind cannot perform optimally in a neglected body. Another habit is focusing only on being right instead of being accurate. Winning arguments becomes more important than discovering truth. Intelligent thinking prioritizes understanding over ego. Avoiding responsibility is closely related. Dodging tasks, making excuses, and shifting blame delays maturity and learning. Another subtle habit is shallow consumption. Only watching short clips, never finishing books, avoiding long-form thinking. This weakens attention span and deep reasoning. Judging people quickly without evidence is another sign. Intelligence withholds conclusions until enough information is available. Ignoring patterns and repeating the same mistakes shows failure to learn from experience. Intelligence recognizes patterns and adapts. Talking more than listening, again and again, often indicates insecurity masked as confidence. Finally, believing intelligence is fixed is one of the most limiting habits of all. Intelligence grows through effort, curiosity, humility, and discipline. Now here's the most important part. Every habit mentioned in this video can be changed. Intelligence is not a label. It's a process. It's built daily through choices, reflection, and intentional growth. Replace reaction with reflection. Replace ego with curiosity. Replace excuses with responsibility. Replace noise with thought. Replace imitation with understanding. If this video made you think differently about your habits, that's a sign of intelligence already growing. If you want more content that sharpens your thinking, strengthens your mindset, and helps you level up mentally, check the comments below and join our community. Subscribe, stay curious, and remember, the smartest habit of all is choosing to improve.